This right now, and it's a training for the REMAX office with Florin. And I know we've gone through some of this. Maybe some of you are new. Obviously, you might have forgotten a lot of stuff. But we're looking right now at our dashboard where our listings are. And I'm going to go through all those tools. But I kind of want to give you a little teaser about one of the most exciting things going on regarding lead generation. And before I do that, I'm going to go mute some more people so we don't have a lot of feedback. And what's really been compelling is how to generate listing leads, people that want to sell their home. And there are a lot of people doing this, trying to find out, hey, I want to grow my business. Certainly I can look for more buyers, but having more listings allows me to advertise more and get my name out there. So a lot of people have been in the business for a while. They've suffered through the REO world and the short sale world, and now they're like, look, it's coming back. I got to get serious. And the best way they can do it is to have a stable business by having listings. So we're going to get into that at the end of the call, but I want to give you a little snapshot of some feedback that we got about 2 days ago from one of our clients that says, hey, want to give a shout out. We ran our seller valuation pages at $50 for 1 week, got 93 leads, and this client also has one in contract already. And we just got this note like 2 days ago, and I think there's another one they're coming into the office. So seller valuation landing pages are really important. We're going to talk about that. We're going to get on that on the kind of the end of the call. But we're going to talk about some of the basics that you need to do when you get into listings to leads. If you do have listings, your listings are automatically feeding into our system when you log in, okay? And you get a dashboard that looks like this. So let's talk about what all this is and what you have to do, okay? What you have to do is generate seller lead generation links. Give me a second. I got to pause. I got a little bit of feedback coming in from somebody there. You want to set the right lead gen links. I'm going to show you what that means in just a second here. But if we look at the tools, you see 2 red buttons and you see 2 blue buttons. You see a single property website, a virtual tour, and you also see I'm going to mute Florin here. I'm getting a little bit of feedback over there, so if you can mute yourself, Florin, that would really help. So we've got virtual tour, single property website, e-flyer campaigns, and social media Facebook campaigns. These are tools that come to you automatically. They get into your mailbox, and you've got to do something with them, okay? And those are all free. You don't have to do any sort of advanced pay-per-click or anything like that. Over to the right, you're going to see a WordPress icon. We're auto-posting your listings to WordPress, okay? So that's good for SEO. It's good for your clients to know that you're doing that. There's a QR code, which means that if somebody takes a smartphone and snaps a picture of it, of that QR code, they'll be taken to a mobile property website. What's important for you as an agent is that if you're going to print that QR code anywhere, you might put it on a signpost or something like that, you need to be able to speak to a potential listing client to let them know that you're mobile optimized for their home, because half the people in this country have a smartphone, and if you're not ready to market on that platform, you're really leaving something behind for that client or potential client, and you have it. Everything that we have here is mobile optimized. Over to the far right is a Craigslist button. Now I'm sure you guys are down in Florida, so you're familiar with Craigslist. It took a massive 180 turn around this time last year, or actually it was in the fall of 13. I want to advise all of you that when that turn occurred, probably 95% of the real estate agents walked away from Craigslist. I mean, just everybody walked away from Craigslist because it was not as exciting. The deal is, though, is that the consumers did not walk away from Craigslist. It is still like the number 11 or number 12th website in the country, and you can still post ads there. You can click that purple button and post your listings there. And we've got clients that are posting just a few listings, keeping listings up there, because there's so little competition on Craigslist now and they make it so difficult for a consumer to get to you, the agent, that you're getting you're getting fewer leads, but you're getting higher conversion, and it's free. So I want to kind of remind you not to forget about Craigslist. I've got clients who are saying, hey, we're posting a few ads every day, and we're getting 5 to 6 to 7 good leads a month from that. And these are good leads, meaning they get more leads, but the 5 to 7 are actually becoming business, right? And I think that's a decent, healthy number for just spending a couple minutes getting up on Craigslist. So those are some of the cool things. We also auto upload to YouTube so that you've got a virtual tour on YouTube, and that's great too. So what I want to jump into is I want to show you what I'm going to send Florin after this call, and I'm hoping that you all get. It's a really basic email. And this email, it talks about what is most important to do in listings to leads right now. Because a lot of, we've got so many clients, people sign up every day. I got new offices, and your office has been with us for a while now, you know, and everybody forgets, what do I got to do, right? So right here on the top of this email it says, for your new listings, and I'm going to read it off and I'm going to go show you what I'm talking about. Choose the right lead generate links to your website. Share your single property website on Facebook and Pinterest. Google, Twitter are optional. Put your virtual tour on Zillow and Trulia. Get your e-flyers out to your clients. And then property valuation landing page and listing landing page. I'll show you that last, okay? So I'm going to show you all the things that is on that deal there. And then you'll know what I'm talking about. And if you can do that, you're going to be awesome. Your clients are going to love you. You're going to get more leads, more buyer leads, more referrals. Now down here it says to generate listing leads. And I showed you that little comment on Facebook. And this right here shows you how to do it. And this right here is an interview of like how to really make Facebook help your business, you know, explode, double, triple. It is the most powerful way to get listings, and that is a really great article on how to do it. Now right here are some examples of landing pages for buyers, for sellers. I'm going to show you a few, but you can see them right here. And then here's a total overview right here of our system. Now I'll probably put this recording and make it a link right here so that you can have this call in that email, okay? But let's go back to the top and let's talk about what to do with your listings. Choose the right lead generation links, okay? Now that's a good, let's look at what that means. Here is a listing out of your account, and it's for Michelle Deaton, okay? Now, I don't know if Michelle's on the call, and I'm not trying to pick on you. It was the first listing I saw, and I grabbed it. And this is a single property website, okay? And it's gonna have, you know, your contact information. It's got plenty of information down here. It's got more photos down here, etc. Right? Everything you would expect in a single property website: maps, schools, print, etc. Okay, but here's the nature of real estate marketing, and here's why listings to leads is really a lot more powerful than most marketing companies. There is Michelle's picture, and there is her phone number, and people can contact her directly. And I think you all know that people do not really want to contact you directly, right? Many people are on the internet researching real estate, and they just want to look at more properties until they're really ready to pull the trigger. I think Realtor.com used to say it's an 18-month average search. So if those people on average are searching, sometimes they're searching for 30 days or 2 years or 18 months. Somebody just told me they got a lead that was 3 years old, turned into a transaction this week. So now I know nobody wants to be dripping on leads for that long, but I gotta mute somebody here, guys. So give me a second. Wendy. Oh, thank you. Okay. So here's the deal. I'm going to show you all these tools that get out. I'm going to show you how they happen. But the number one thing on that list was have the right lead generation links. Okay? So if somebody looks at this, for all the people that look at this home, the vast majority do not want to buy this home. You know that, right? It's nothing wrong with the home. It just doesn't fit everybody's needs. So the obvious thing is, hey, well, let's give that consumer some options over here on the left-hand side. Like Ruskin Homes for Sale. The home is for sale in Ruskin. What would be another good link? Ruskin Homes under 300K. This thing is right here, 225. Maybe there's a hot neighborhood in Ruskin, like a hot subdivision. You could put that as a link. Maybe there's a neighboring town next door to Ruskin that if I was looking at a home in Ruskin, I'd probably be thinking of that. Put that as a link, right? That's what you want to do. So in my email, the first thing I tell you, hopefully it's here somewhere, is choose the right lead generation links to your website. And Michelle, if you ever see this, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but you see this little link right here that says Ruskin Homes for Sale? When a consumer clicks that link, and by the way, that was auto-connected to her listing. She set it up somewhere in the past, and that's what it does. It says this web page is not available. So I think it's obvious to all of us that that's not going to generate any leads for Michelle, right? That's just not going to do anything. So what will happen is there's something here that says search all homes. Let's click search all homes. You should always have search all homes. And let's see where that's driving. That's not driving anywhere anyway. So if Michelle is even taking the next steps of sharing this, and getting it out on social media and getting it in front of her clients and getting it on her, getting her virtual tour out on the internet for hundreds of people to see, she's not really going to get a whole lot of leads out of that. So let's talk about what we need to do, right? So I actually pulled her listing into my account so we can kind of practice and say, well, how do we get the right lead generation links? You can actually do it right here. There's a green button that has a chain link on it, and when you click it, it shows you the lead generation links that are in your account right now. I have a bunch, right? But I don't have one for Ruskin. So I'm going to type in Ruskin Homes for Sale. Okay? Now this is the basics, but man, if you don't do the basics right, you can see that it's just not really, it's not really that exciting. And so right over here, I've got a page here that is showing me Ruskin Homes. Now, I know this is the office site, but I couldn't find Michelle's site. You would want to drive this to your own site. But I'm going to copy the URL. The URL is the web address up on the top of this page. You can't see it, but I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to go back to my little page where I was adding links. And I named it Ruskin Homes for Sale. I'm going to paste over here where it says website URL. And I put that in and I click it. And I say that's going to be active. Okay? Now I'm going to do one more link. And I'm not going to go back and forth. But I do have another link over here that is Ruskin Homes. Or maybe this is the wrong one. Yeah, this is the right one. Ruskin Homes under 300K. Okay? And that's relevant to that listing because that home was at 225 grand. So, you know, they don't want to look at, you know, $1 million homes most likely. So I'm going to paste that link there. And I'm going to say, okay, check Ruskin Homes under 300K. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to click save. And I've already got search all homes as a default link. I don't know where that's going because this is my demo account. But there's Ruskin Homes, and then what is your home worth, right? Search all homes. And you save and close. And at that point, all of the tools I'm about to show you have those links driving to your website, okay? Michelle's over here. That's not going to have those links because she's got to go in there and fix that. I couldn't find her website. But over here on mine, same property, I'm going to pull up the single property website by clicking the red button with the white house on it. And here I've got, we'll give it a second to pull up, and I'm going to use somebody else that came online. Here you can see, this is mine, right? Same home. I just pulled it in. And there are those links on the left-hand side that say things like Ruskin Homes under 300K. If I click those links, you can be sure they're going to go directly to your website. And that's what we want. About 30% of the people that look at our tools click a link like that and go to your website and start searching. Okay? So you probably want traffic, all that stuff, leads, etc. You got to do that. This is a single property website. And as I said in the email, what do you do with a single property website? you share it on Facebook and Pinterest. Excuse me. I recommend you share it to Google Plus and Twitter too, but Facebook and Pinterest are pretty powerful sites for getting traffic back to you. How do you do that? There's a little Facebook button right down here underneath your picture. Click it. It opens up your Facebook and you write a quick note. Sorry guys, fighting off a little bit of a cold here. And that's how you share to Facebook. Just write a quick note, make it social, etc., etc. Same thing for Pinterest, Google Plus, Twitter, LinkedIn if you want. It allows you to be able to speak to a potential listing client and say, hey, I'm on every major social network there is. You have to be able to dominate the internet for your clients. And that's what it is. So that's a single property website. Excuse me. You share it to social networks, okay? Here's the virtual tour. You click the virtual tour button. And I know you're going to kind of like have a short circuit here, but ignore your MLS and ignore the unbranded virtual tour and go straight to the branded virtual tour, the green button, and click this. You can click the copy button here and copy it, and it'll tell you it's copied. And what I want you to do is I want you to take the virtual tour, I'm going to click on the hyperlink too, and I want you to put it on Zillow and Trulia. I want you to log into your free account there. It takes about a minute. Find your listing, go edit, blah, 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 and paste this in, because hundreds of people are looking at that over there, right? Hundreds of people are going to see your listings on Zillow and Trulia, and right now, if they see your listings on Zillow and Trulia, Lord knows who gets those leads, right? I know I don't know, and even if you pay them, you know that you don't know either. So if you put our virtual tour on Zillow and Trulia, and there's any remote interest, people are going to see that and go, oh, wow, okay, I want to click that virtual tour and look at it. And what's going on next? 30% of those people start clicking links to get over to your website, like Ruskin Homes and this and that, right? So, as I said, in my little fancy email, number 2 thing, put your branded virtual tour on Zillow and Trulia, okay? Next is get your auto-generated e-flyer and Facebook ads to your client and call them to make sure that they forward the post. Now, I pulled this in before we got on the call, so we don't have to wait for all that. But what happens is it kind of looks like this. Here it is, just listed. And here is my Facebook ad, okay? And what this is basically, you should read it. I'm sure you're getting these in the emails, and I don't know if you're using them or not, but this is why it's so powerful. The point is copy, for your client to copy what is between the red lines, and for them to put it on their Facebook wall, not for you to put it on your Facebook wall. And why would you do that, right? Why would you do that? Because your clients, really why you do it is obviously you want leads, but you also want referrals. And if you want referrals, where do you think those referrals are going to come from? They're going to come from your clients' friends and family and colleagues. And where do you think they're communicating the most with those people right now? Over half the people in your area are on Facebook, right? And probably every day. I think I read the number. It's something like, I don't know, 40 minutes a day that people are on Facebook. You know, because you're probably on Facebook right now, scrolling through and looking at notes from your friends, right? And pictures of your nephews and nieces. So that's what goes on with Facebook. And so are you there? Are your clients talking about you on Facebook? Probably not. But if you forward our little tool that I just showed you and you give them a 5-second phone call and say, hey, I just sent you an e-flyer and a Facebook ad, would you please put that on your wall? And would you please forward that on your email? Why? Because, and you're telling it, because I want more people to see your home, and we want to sell that, you know, the best price as fast as possible, and that is totally true. Now, things are starting to run slow here for me. That was a bad signal if you saw that. But I'm going to paste here this is what we want your client to do. Copy what's between the red lines. And this is, you know, everything's starting to run a little bit slow here, guys, so bear with me.
Take your time, Vince.
Oh, no, 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 no. That's not what I need. Give me a second here, guys. Come on.
Take your time, Vince.
Thank you. I'm trying not to panic. Okay. So all you got to do, and all your client has to do, is copy what's between the red lines. Really? And paste it right here. Okay? Now, you want your client to do this, right? And why? Because when they do that, let's give it a second to kind of see if they can get the picture up here looking nice. Because it'll put a picture of the house. And you see it's got my name, Vincent Meza, Lafayette L2L Realty. It's going to have your name and your office name, and it's saying something like this, right? Created this and many other tools to market our home, right? So when they post this, and my computer's probably getting bogged down, but when they post this, it's going to put some picture, and hopefully it's not my picture. It usually is the front of the house, right? And when you post it, all of your clients, friends, and family are going to see that, okay? And they're going to, when they do that and they click on it, a full page with all your stuff, all your logo, your picture, the home, and all your lead generation links are right there behind this ad, okay? That's where you're going to get referrals, is because there are 4 or 5 or 6 different kinds of flyers, from coming soon to just listed to open house to maybe under contract or active contingent, and then of course just sold. And when the just sold one comes out, it basically says our home is sold and Vincent Meza was awesome from REMAX, right? So that's what you want. You want people to just have an auto testimonial up on Facebook saying, this guy is great, sold our home, here's his phone number and email, all pre-written. All your client has to do is copy and paste, okay? Now for some reason, of course, everything's kind of going slow, but you got to do this. Whether you like Facebook or not, it's the #2 website in the country, and half of the people in the United States are on Facebook, okay? So it looks like this, right? Of course you want your home to look like this. I see realtors putting so much random stuff on Facebook that doesn't generate leads. They put up a YouTube video, they put up a Craigslist ad. It's going to take forever to get a lead that way. But when anybody clicks on either this picture or this link down here or this link up here, let's see what happens, right? It opens up a single property website. It's got all the information on the home, or this is a flyer behind it. Clearly it's just listed. Your banner is going to be up there on the top. Your picture is going to be there. And all those cool lead generation links I get so excited about are right there, driving people back to your website. Okay? So that's what you got to do. Let's go back to the email and let's kind of reflect. What do we got to do? We got to forward the e-flyer and the Facebook ads to our clients and call them for 5 seconds and tell them, hey, please put that on the internet form. Okay? That's all you got to do. I'm going to show you here. This is the just listed flyer. That was the just listed Facebook ad, but every time there's an ad, there's a corresponding flyer. Same thing, same message. Maybe those clients of yours don't have Facebook, but they probably have email, and they can forward it to their friends and family and just say, hey, everybody, we're trying to sell our home, and this agent is helping us, and this is help us get more exposure. Thanks in advance, okay? So these are all, this stuff is automatically getting emailed to you, and if you choose to use it, you're going to probably generate leads out of it, and you're probably going to get referrals out of it, okay? So that's the basics. Let's go back here, and this stuff is automatically flowing out to you. You just got to know what to do with it, okay? So we're kind of going over it here. Now, you remember I said the virtual tour, you got to put it on Zillow and Trulia. If you don't know how to do that, these 2 little buttons right here are 2-minute videos on exactly how to do that. It's pretty simple. I'm going to go back to the listings page, and I have a cup of coffee. If anybody has questions right now, we've talked about the basics. We talked about my 2 red buttons and my 2 blue buttons. And this is what you have to do with every listing. You got to get the right lead generation links. You got to share the single property website. You got to get the virtual tour. You got to get it. And you get that e-flyer and Facebook ad out there, and you follow up with a phone call. That's not a ton of time, okay? Every couple weeks, you're going to get a new flyer and a new Facebook ad. Send it out, okay? Follow up with a phone call. Not a ton of time, but a lot of exposure. And probably, if you're using these tools, I know we're going to be the #1 source of traffic for your website, because most real estate agents get almost 0 traffic, but these tools get click-throughs, okay? So that's the free stuff. Now, when you look here at my email, the next thing it says is put property valuation landing pages and listing landing pages on Facebook. $20 a day and $3 a day, respectively. That there is really tied to this Facebook interview and this right here. This shows you how to do it. And this tells you why. This Facebook interview tells you why, because the results are really powerful. So we spent about 30 minutes talking about the basics, right? Get those red tools out, get those blue tools out. We're going to go up to YouTube for you. We're going to push to WordPress for you. You should definitely push over to Craigslist. That's going to take you about a minute. Instructions are under that purple button on the right with a peace sign, okay? So now let's talk about some of the fancy stuff, right? Some of the stuff that people are just climbing into listings to leads to get access to because they want more listings, all right? And those are landing pages. So when your listing comes in, we automatically create a landing page. It's fairly generic, right? But it works. And I'm going to just define a landing page for you, because I hear people throwing that word out all the time. A landing page is a one-page website with no links, not driving people to go here or there and look at information and mortgage and nothing. It's just got one thing to do: get a buyer or a seller's contact information. So right here is a column that says listing landing page. That's because you have a landing page for every property, okay? So I'm going to click this one, and we're going to see something, and you're all going to get really droopy on me because you're going to be like, oh, that's not exciting. But don't worry, because I got something really exciting to show you. This is an old school landing page, okay? Now at the office level, if you're running ads for all the agents and all the listings, this is great because this works. It's got one picture, it's got a little bit of info. What's it designed to do? You can tell. Name and email, right? That's all it is. It's going to have your banner up top. Here's the key and why in the email I say run this for $3 a day. And if you're a listing agent, you only need to run this a few days, right? Because what you're doing with Facebook pay-per-click advertising is you're saying, hey, Facebook, I want everybody in the Ruskin zip code to see that I have a home that's just listed, right? It doesn't matter that they like you, that they're friends with you, that they've ever seen you on Facebook. It just matters that they're on Facebook and they are in the zip code you're targeting. So you get the ability to capture leads, but I think more importantly, you get the ability to reach out to thousands of people, and you will see when you run an ad for $3 that you're actually getting in front of thousands of people, and what they're noticing is that you are a realtor in Ruskin, Florida, okay, for $3. So when we look at the little email, back to my email again, and we look at that interview, this agent, just so I do want you to read it, but I'm going to give you the highlights. She's running an ad $3 a day on any listing. Sometimes it's just listed, sometimes it's coming soon, sometimes it's under contract. Same listing, because we can change the status over and over, change the pictures so that people feel like it's something new. For $3 a day, the result is, and you'll read it in the interview, is that people are saying you're all over the internet. You're all over the internet. Now, I don't know if anybody on these call right now, if people are saying, oh, you're all over the internet, right? Probably not. But the fact is, they're not all over the internet. She's all over Facebook. Because for $3 a day, she's got a landing page. And even though I know you're not excited about this landing page, I'll get you excited here in about 5 seconds. She's able to say, I'm a realtor in your area. And then when she's got that kind of going, at the same time, she's running another ad that says, what is your home worth? Now that you see I've got open houses and just listed and just closed, if you'd like to find out your home valuation, I got that too. So let's give you a landing page for a listing that's a little more exciting, okay? I got another listing down here. It's actually down in Naples, and it's active contingent. So I could run this in Naples zip code for $3 a day and say, hey, I've got a home that's active contingent. It's under contract. And it's a lot fancier, isn't it? It's got a beautiful picture of the home, but it's got one function. What's your contact info? Let me get you some more information, okay? You could have just listed look just like this. You could have your open house landing page look just like this. You could have just sold look just like this. And for just a couple bucks on Facebook, everybody in your farm markets are gonna know that you are a real estate agent professional in that area. And not only are you gonna know, there's the ability to capture leads, okay? So how you turn the just listed default one into that fancy one, it's the exact same landing page, is you upload a large photograph. You go to the virtual tour button, you click it, there's a button there where you upload the photo, and if it's big enough, it's going to give you the option underneath the photo to say, make this my listing landing page image. You check it, you save it, and bang, from then on, it's going to be that big, beautiful, full screen image ad, okay? And you run that up on Facebook. Now, back to my little fancy email. How you put it on Facebook is right here. The instructions are real clear. Don't get distracted. We've done this for a while. Facebook advertising has been available for a little over a year and a half, and we've had a lot of feedback of what's working and what's not working. And this is really clear, concise video. So watch it and try to stay off the phone and looking at all the other stuff, because every question you're going to have is really answered there, okay? So that's how you run a listing landing page, and that's how you get exposure of you being a pro on Facebook. #2 website in the country, over half the people in the United States. I think the number just came out last week, like it's 58% of adults, not teens, but adults are on Facebook. So I hope you have a strategy, and I hope you're listening to this one, because this is the best one I've heard of. And we hear of a lot, okay? So that's how you get your name out there. People know you've got homes coming, going, sold, under contract, etc. But what about those really lovely listing leads? How do I get more listings? Well, you go up here to the landing page section, and there's all these landing pages, okay? And you could create one for every one of these deals, right? So what if you want to create a landing page? What if you want to, let's say Michelle over there who has that home for sale in Ruskin, she really wants to grow her business in Ruskin, okay? Well, here's how you do it. You see this #2, it says type in the farm sales area in the box. Well, how do you do that? You type in Ruskin. And then you click save, okay? And at that point, we're going to give you this cool little green message that says your series of landing pages has been created. I think you can see that there. And I hope we're going to reconfigure this, but we've got about 5 different landing pages for capturing listing leads, okay? What is your home worth? Over here. This is an old school squeeze page. I'll show it to you in a minute. We got Property Valuation Plus, which has a Zillow valuation built into the back so that they actually get some kind of valuation. And before half of you go, oh, I hate Zillow. Some of you just don't want to get the information to the client, and if you want to, great, use that. But if you don't, and you just want to get a lead, use Property Valuation, okay? And I'm going to show you all these real quick. Then we got Property Valuation 2 and Growing Family. So let's start with the old school, our first, what is our home worth page, right? And I'm going to show this to you, and we scroll down to the bottom, and there's my little Ruskin one right there, right? And I click See Landing Page. And again, it's that anticlimax when we see this thing. It's like, oh, I hate this. Let me tell you something, because I'm going to show you the slick ones, and you're going to be like, oh, that's awesome. And we got clients, fortunately, our clients know to test what's working, right? listings to leads gives us 5. Let's use all 5 and run them on different days and shorter times and longer times. And many people come back and say, you know what? This old school page, I get better quality leads from here. I get deeper information on this old school page. It's going to have your banner. It's going to talk about Ruskin and, you know, test it. Okay? Now, let's go back over here to the landing page dashboard. And let's look at what we did next, right? You'll kind of see the iteration. Property valuation. Now, property valuation, when you go there, we'll go down to Ruskin. And when I click See Landing Page, I get this pop-up and it says, what kind? Okay? And there's multiple versions here. There's a 1-page version and a 2-page version. The 2-page version will get the email, or not, no, it will get the address first, and then it will get the email on the 2nd page. The 1-page version requires the email on the 1st page. So what happens is you get fewer leads on the 1-page version. But there are some people that feel like, you know, I don't want a lead without an email. And that's good. Use the 1-page version. But there are other people that are like, no, I got multiple ways of getting that information, and I want as many people that are homeowners to you know, I want to know who they are. So you might want to choose one of these 2 versions. Now, there's one that's a location autofill, so let's go look at that. And we just click View. And what that does is it's got some sort of, I don't know, IP, GPS deal built into this thing. And it actually pops your address in there. We'll give it a second for that to bake. And some people like that. Okay, cool. You know, it puts that in there. So I just got to go click. And there, it's giving me a range on my address. Sometimes it gives me my exact address, but right now it's giving me a range. And then, if it got my exact address, I could just go, bang. And it would take me to the next page and say, hey, we've got information for you. We're going to get you evaluation. Please give us your email address, right? So that's cool. That's a good way of doing that. And that's one of the tools that are designed to generate listing leads, okay? But we'll go back here to the dashboard, and then we'll look at growing family, right? So growing family, I think it's not too difficult to understand. But the point is that you want to run different kinds of ads, right? You know what advertising is like. The more, if you get used to that Budweiser logo, you're just not going to look at that Budweiser logo anymore. And so we've got different ads to have a completely different look, again, to get people who are interested in moving, right? Do you need a bigger home because you just had a kiddo, right? So that's available for you. Use it, right? Mix it up. Let's go back to the landing page dashboard, and let's look at property valuation 2. Now, we built this because we actually got feedback from our clients and saying, you know what, this thing actually also works. And here's the thing, you guys are in Florida, we've got clients all over the country, and it's surprising how some tools work really well in some parts of the country and not so well in the other parts of the country. So you can test and see what's really working well in your market. This clearly is designed to capture a listing lead, right? Now this one here, when we go back to that landing page dashboard, we're going to go, I'm going to show you the last one, Valuation Plus. This is our latest one, and this has a Zillow deal built in the back. So I'll go through the program on this one with you. And also, I want to point out, you notice how I've been clicking See Landing Page? You can also click Edit Landing Page, and upload a background photo. Because, you know, when we built these, Scott and I were looking at, we had to pick something that was like relevant for as many people as possible. And this kind of suburban development background picture works for a lot of people, but for some people it doesn't. So by clicking the edit button, you can put your own picture in the back. It's got to be like 1900 or 2000 pixels wide, but it'll be relevant. Maybe it's a landmark from Ruskin. Maybe it's a Google map of Ruskin. Maybe it's a picture of the downtown street in Ruskin. Who knows? But you put that there. Try not to put one house, because one house self-selects everybody else that doesn't have a house like that. And I'm just going to type in here what it says. So what is your home worth? I'm going to go 1595 Alamo Way. Let's just do that. Okay. And I click go, and it says great. please verify your information. This is what we have from you. Is that right? And it says, yeah, that's good. Okay, good. And I click here, and let's give that a second to move on. And actually over here, things are running slow, but over on the right, it should bring up a map. And it says, great, we have your valuation. Now notice there's a valuation over here kind of grayed at it saying, hey, there's something there. So I'm going to say, all right, well, great. Well, I see it. So I'm more inclined to give you my contact info because I can actually see it, right? So let's see, I'm going to put in an email here for work so that we can look at that real quick. And click. Oh, and I got to give you an option, right? What's my option? My option is I need to sell soon, right? And whatever it is, that gets auto put up here in the background. There's a little red box. We're going to see it in a second. And that says, hey, if you need to sell soon, which is what I just selected, get a real-time valuation on your home. Schedule a 5-minute on-site valuation now, right? So there's a scheduler built right in, and there's some highs and lows and medians from Zillow, right? So that's nice because you get contact information, it gives them something, and then you have a way to follow up and say, hey, you know what, we need to maybe do a little more personal look to make sure, you know, did you do upgrades recently, et cetera, et cetera. And that's probably one of the most exciting, although our clients love all of these landing pages. This is the latest, and people are really liking this because, you know, it's great to generate leads, but the better quality leads are really valuable and important to get to, and this is really one of the tools we have to drive into higher quality, right? So let's just kind of go look real quickly at, let's see if I got anything aside from massive amounts of spam. Yeah, so this is kind of what a lead looks like. Another listing lead, and it gives me a picture of where the home is, and it says this is the information. It also shows you, the agent, the valuation that they have, so you can go, hey, you know what, that's a problem, right? Or that's good. Maybe it's too high or it's too low. But, and then this is the auto response that you get from, you know, from listings to leads from you, right? And it says, and it's basically, hey, is there anything that happened, recent upgrades, et cetera? So we're really trying to engage that consumer quickly to get them into the program, right? To get them into your office and or, you know, just to get a meeting going. So, let's see, where am I? So that's landing pages, and those are really designed, we talked about how to get listing leads, right? We've been going for about 15 minutes on that. There are also other landing pages for FSBOs and expireds, and I got other ones here for condos for sale, and just things like that. There are other tools inside the system. There are market reports that you can create. I know Florin has a listing presentation. We are going to upgrade our listing presentation probably in the next 30 days or so to reflect some of the new tools that we have and the new looks of the tools. If you were looking at our stuff over the past year, you may have noticed that over the past month we have moved our single property website and virtual tour to a new platform, to a totally new modern look. And our e-flyers are actually going on to also a similar new look. Let me see if I can pull that up. Lord have mercy, look at this spam I get. This is awesome. So our new e-flyer program is going to look a lot more professional, a lot nicer, kind of like this. It's going to have the same things that we're always excited about, like lead generation links, but it just shows us the properties in a more kind of, you know, current, more luxury, more contemporary, more minimal fashion than the way that we were doing before. Okay, so the e-flyer program and the ads behind the Facebook ads are going to have this kind of look. So everything is going to be a lot more uniform, from your virtual tours and your single property websites to your Facebook ads and your e-flyer campaigns. They're going to look the same across the platform, right? Great way to get referrals, great way to get buyers. And then we talked about all the landing pages, from the old school look to the new latest stuff. You can look super modern there too to get more listings and more buyers, okay? So that's kind of it, guys. I'm going to open it up for questions now. And while I'm waiting for questions, I'm going to tell you, We got a great open house marketing platform. Even if it's not your listing, put the listing in your account and click the edit listing button, that first blue button with the wrench and the screwdriver, and put your open house date and time right here. Okay? Save it. We're going to email you a bunch of tools. They all look good, and more importantly, they all generate leads. Over here, you know, I showed you that landing page that was active contingent. I showed you one that was just listed. This is really an important piece to make sure you take advantage of this, because listings are tight, right? Inventory is still tight. So when you get them, you want to do much more than just put them in the MLS and you know, sit there and wait for the phone to ring. You want to proactively hammer that thing onto the internet. And you can see here that you can market your listing as coming soon, just listed, active, maybe under contract, maybe active contingent, whatever. And of course, pending and just sold. Okay? Those are multiple times to market the same home with all those lead generation links I keep yammering on about. So,
Vince, about 30 days for
questions,
the new listing presentation.
I'm going to thank everybody for your time, and I will
Okay.
get these that
Should I,
recording
can
out.
you shoot me an email when
and
it's
I'll
done,
get it
or
out to,
should I get an email?
Florin, and I'll get you the email.
Okay, alright. Because I want to customize this logo like we did the other one.
Listing presentation?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Can you shoot me an email when it's done, or?
Oh, when it's done, you're definitely going to get it.
I have a few here, but I'm waiting to see if anybody, you know, you can bring the questions right there on the chat, and Vince will answer. Well, Vince,
Yeah.
we have a few more minutes.
Are
What's
there any
your
questions from the folks where you
what
are?
are the best tips that you see in here agents using this system? What are the best tips for using it?
You can bring the questions right there on the chat, and Vince will answer.
Yeah.
Well, Vince, we have a few more minutes. What are the best tips that you see in here agents using this system?
Around it.
What are the best tips for using it?
Well, the best tips are, I'm going to just pull this up one more time. Looking to like grow your business, you have got to get your arms around that. This doesn't take arms around it, but you get leads out of it and you get referrals out of it. So that's why I don't have like a 5-page, you know, directions. I have like 5 lit lines. Do these things. Put your branded virtual tour on Zillow and Trulia. You're going to get a lot of traffic off of those sites because your listings are out there. But the valuation pages on Facebook, whether that's like number one. I mean, that's a number one thing to do if you want more listings. Okay? Because there's a lot of stuff. I mean, I know it sounds repetitive, but we can see what's working, and we can, you know, because we get feedback all the time from people, and clearly running, you know, pay-per-click campaigns on Facebook is getting a lot of leads.
Sure, how about
free stuff on
Craigslist?
Facebook
I mean, you know, what, because, you know, it seems like everybody went away from it, so, you know, you're right in the beginning of the presentation, you said that not many people were there, but
website. And
do agents generate anything from Craigslist anymore, or?
To help them grow their business.
So
Yeah.
I mean, you know, because, you know, it seems like everybody went away from it, so, you know, you're right in the beginning of the presentation, you said that not many people were there, but
Yeah.
do agents generate anything from Craigslist anymore, or?
Yeah, they're told. I mean, I've had that conversation all the time, and that's why I mentioned it, because, look, I'm here in the Bay Area, and, you know, Craigslist was started in San Francisco, right? And so we're kind of familiar with Craigslist. I've been buying motorcycles and random nonsense on there, and people look for jobs and all that. Craigslist is a very high traffic site, right? But down in the South Bay, it's called San Jose, and that is really Silicon Valley. And in the height of Craigslist marketing, you would see more than 1,000 listings every day on there. Every day, right? So consumers are just having to shuffle through and go through and go through, and all kinds of people were there posting ads. Right now, there are less than 150 up there, I think, today. Okay? So there's no competition on Craigslist. Or very little. And the Craigslist made it harder for a consumer to get to you. It used to be you could post a hyperlink. And I don't know, Florin, if you remember, that's what we were doing here at Listings Leads. You could paste the hyperlink up there, and they could click it and get to your website, and that was fast and easy, and kind of cool. But what we're realizing is that you can't do that anymore. You can't even do that anymore. So if somebody's got it, if they want to get to you, they're a little more serious about it than the random person just clicking a link and going to look at properties. So fewer leads, higher conversion. That's what we see. That's what we see.
Okay.
So I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Craigslist, especially because, we want to do things that our clients get business from and traffic and all that. So that's why I'm telling you that. It's like a lot of and Florida Craigslist was out of control. Just go do it. Let's do it right now. Let's go do it. If you got a second, I don't see any questions coming up.
Yep.
So let's just go look at Craigslist. You're in Tampa, right, Florin?
Yeah, Tampa, Florida. Yep.
Okay. So let's just go look, and we'll get an idea right now of what's going on. And granted, I will say this. I think that in Florida, there's a lot of tech-savvy agents. Okay, this is my Craigslist. I got to go over here first. Give me a second. Sorry, whenever I go to Craigslist, I go straight to boats. So Florida, right there. And Tampa is somewhere, right there, Tampa Bay area. And if I look for apartment and housing, is that, no, real estate for sale, real estate for sale. Is it by broker? You don't have that breakout, but let's just go look, scroll down. So I see 11,000 of what's going on today, right? What's going on. So I see here, we're at a couple hundred. And these things don't have the big full page ads anymore, right? It's just kind of people have to, you still have some competition out there. There's still a few hundred people. That being said, I'm still hearing from people in Florida hey, this. So we give you the tool right there under that Craigslist button to be there. Oh, let's see. I'm looking at the date here. They don't put a break. Yeah. So it's, I mean, you still got 400 listings there. Still, I would try it because we see it. I mean, we see people coming back and saying, God.
And we have that many,
because you're not going to get
Tampa Bay area.
Yeah, there's about 500 listings
large
there.
area. Geographically, we're not going to even cover all of that. We'll probably cover a quarter of that.
You can definitely get leads off of there, and it just takes a couple minutes to get there.
And we have that many in Tampa Bay area.
Correct.
It's a very large area. Geographically, we're not going to even cover all of that. We'll probably cover a quarter of that. So.
Yeah. So in your target market, you might be, again, you might be down to 100 or 200 listings in your area.
Right.
And so for you to say, hey, you know what, I've got a couple of listings and I'm going to put some up there, people can find you. You can actually, not be buried by a bunch of stuff there. So that's really the nature of it. And that's, I mean, we see it. We are getting the feedback from our clients listen,
We have one right here. Wayne has a question.
So, the lead gen links, once you put them in, are they good for all of these properties, or do you have to enter those for each individual property as well?
I don't see any other questions, Florin. Do you have any?
We have one right here. Wayne has a question.
The lead gen links, once you put them in, are they good for all of the properties, or do you have to each individual property as well?
Let me show you. That's a great question. They can be the same links for all listings, and I'll show you where you do that. But you probably don't want to do that. Now, if you're working in the same town or the same area and all your listings are in the same place, then you want the same links, right? So if that's the case, when you go to the template page, you'll see your logo here, and above it, you see a links and landing pages. And this is normally where you go and you create all of your links that are going to be available in your account. I showed you earlier how to do it at the listing level. But right here, I could say, hey, you know what? I'm going to create all my links. Because I have a listing in Ruskin, I can actually say here, the next time a property comes in Ruskin, and this is what I'm doing right here by selecting here, it's saying automatically associate these two links, okay, to that listing. So when the listing comes in the MLS, you're going to get the tools automatically, and it's automatically going to have this link and this link because it's in Ruskin. And up here it says include for all, so it's always going to get search all homes. And then down here I've got a what is your home worth link checked, so it's always going to get that. And that's really what I want. I don't really recommend
makes perfect sense. So if we set it up and say we're in Tampa, but I farm in Wesley Chapel. So if I set it up to do Tampa strictly, but when I have a Wesley Chapel listing, I just want to customize just those listings that are in Wesley Chapel. Is that?
Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense. So if we set it up and say we're in Tampa, but I farm in Wesley Chapel. So if I set it up to do Tampa strictly, but when I have a Wesley Chapel listing, I just want to customize just those listings that are in Wesley Chapel. Is that?
Totally. Yeah. That's totally right. So yeah, that's right. You definitely want to do that because you might have listings in that other area. So
you can create landing pages for neighborhoods too. I mean, I don't remember if you mentioned it or not. They can create a landing page for, let's say, neighborhood right here in the backyard is 7 Oaks. You can create, your home worth in 7 Oaks. You can create that landing page and just create 7 Oaks. I mean, you can drill down to as much as you want. Am I correct, Vince?
I don't remember if you mentioned it or not. They can create a landing page for, let's say, neighborhood right here in the backyard is 7 Oaks.
Yeah.
You can create, your home worth in 7 Oaks. You can create that landing page and just create 7 Oaks. I mean, you can drill down to as much as you want. Am I correct, Vince?
That's totally right. And you want to try and drill down. I know, like, a lot of people think maybe they don't want to. It's easier to create something for, like, my county, right? Because it's one thing in it. But I live in Contra Costa County, and Alameda is here, Pleasanton is here, Lafayette and Concord, and the homes in these areas are vastly different, and the prices are different. So that Contra Costa ad is not really that effective. But if I want business in Lafayette home value, Lafayette condos, blah, 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 those are all really relevant. And I will point this out, because these are landing pages. This is what we call landing pages. And a landing page is, you can create them in section 2 under the template page. It's like, you can make it as specific as you want. Do you want a free list of homes under 200K? Sorry, that's my bad there, fooling around. And so you can make that whatever you want. You could put a YouTube video in there or whatever. I will tell you this, these kinds of landing pages work really well in Florida. And I think it's because there are a lot of people looking at Florida from far away. So they're actually happy to fill out a form like this and say, yeah, I am interested in that kind of list. Can you send that to me, right? And you can create that under the template page as well. Sorry for that crazy picture. And then, your home valuations, we went up and we looked at the property valuation page. You could create a property valuation landing page for all of your 3 farm markets, paste in the link right here, say what is your Tampa home worth, what is your West Chapel home worth, and choose the right link. I could create a link that says what is my Ruskin home worth, and say the next time a listing comes in Ruskin, automatically give it that link, right? And so
I think we're good. I mean, we're good on our end, and I don't see anything. Is there anything on the chat?
Everybody knows this. It's just more powerful, right?
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I think we're good. I mean, we're good on our end, and I don't see anything. Is there anything on the chat?
Perfect. Then I'll forward to everybody.
Yeah. I don't see it either.
Excellent.
Well, everybody, thanks for your time. Florin, I'm going to upload this video, and then I'm going to embed it in the email that I'm going to send you, and that's going to be the email that we've been referring to during this call, okay?
Perfect.
Okay, thanks.
I'll forward to everybody in the office. Excellent.
Awesome. Everybody, thanks again for your time. And we've got a contact support button here. If you got questions, we've got a bunch of people watching that. Lean on us. We'll help you get, more leads. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, thanks.